Friends, in today's video I wanted to show you how to use thicker papers for decoupage, and this will open up your possibilities a lot. So I know a lot of people that do decoupage, especially beginners, tend to stick to rice papers or napkins that they buy from various places online or find in shops and so on. However, of course, that makes your choices very limited. It only allows you to use whatever you can find in shops or whatever that somebody else is already selling for your project. And so today I wanted to show you how to make thicker papers work for decoupage. So what I have here is a picture that I printed on my normal inkjet printer. So I just have a normal standard Canon printer that you can buy from most shops, and this is the cheapest photo paper that I was able to find. When you are printing your own pictures, the thinner the paper the better, so which for us of course is very handy, because the thinner the photo paper the cheaper it's going to be. When I print pictures on my printer, the only things that I do is I resize them so that they fit whatever I'm going to apply them to. So in this case we're going to be applying this picture over the top of this jewelry box, and so I resized it. Originally it was much bigger, and when I sent it to print, I set my printer to print photo on photo paper. So before you start printing your own pictures on your printer, make sure that you have the quality of the printing set to the maximum that you can possibly get. So here I have all of the supplies that I'm gonna need, or I think I do. I always do this before I start filming a video. I think I have all of my stuff, all of the supplies ready, but then I tend to forget about something. But so I have my picture. You're gonna need your decoupage glue and a brush to apply it with. You're gonna need a little plastic sheet like this. So this is just a little file folder. Of course, you're gonna need your thing that you're gonna apply your paper to. You're gonna need a little squeegee thingy, or even an old credit card or something like that. You're gonna need some clear sellotape. If you have one of these rollers, that can be very handy as well. But if you don't, then you'll just have to do with one of these squeegees. I've just used these before, and that worked absolutely fine until I bought one of these. And you're gonna need a spray bottle or a bowl of water. If you don't have a spray bottle, a bowl of water will do just fine. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut my paper, because I'm not gonna need it. When I resized my picture, I made sure that it's a little bit bigger than what I need, and that will allow some room for error, and also it makes the application a lot easier. Oh, there you go, I've already remembered one thing that I completely forgot about, and that's a little cloth or a towel, something that you can dab off the excess water with. So I've cut my picture out, and what we're going to do now is we're going to thin out the paper. So when you're printing on photo paper, you'll notice that of course this is the glossy side, and the reverse side is also quite smooth. So what we want to do is we want to thin out this back side so that when we go to apply the picture over the top, the glue can seep through a lot better. You can just glue it on without doing that, but I prefer to thin it out if I'm working with photo paper. Of course, also if you have access to a laser printer, usually you can find those in libraries or photocopy centers. If you have one nearby, then you can just go there and get your picture printed on normal office paper, and in that case you won't have to thin it out. You can just completely skip this first step. But I know that a lot of people, especially those of us that have maybe trouble getting places or live in the middle of nowhere or just don't have access to a laser printer. For myself, I find sometimes I want to start a project in the middle of the night and I can't go and get a laser printer. So this is also handy to know. This method will also work with cardstock or scrapbooking papers, anything that's thicker than napkins or rice paper that you might have previously worked with. So anyways, to thin out the paper, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn it over. It's important that your surface that you're putting your picture onto is nice and smooth, and I'm gonna take my sellotape. I'm gonna stick my sellotape over the whole picture, overlapping it so that it covers everything. So I've covered the whole thing, so I've had to apply 3 strips of sellotape over my picture, and I'm going to take my little squeegee thing and I'm going to go over the whole thing, kind of burnishing it in, just getting the sellotape stuck onto the paper really well. so that when we take it off, that backing layer peels off together with the sellotape. Right, so now I'm gonna take one of these corners, and again, if you start doing this from one of the corners and you notice that it's not coming away nicely or anything like that, you have 3 more corners to try. So sometimes it can happen that, you know, one corner doesn't want to come off or something, so you just go and try the other one. And I'm gonna start gently peeling it away. There you go, and so this is what we took off from the back. And if you have like really thick paper, you can keep doing this until you are happy with how thin your paper is, until you are comfortable with. I am comfortable with this, just 1 layer is enough, because when we go to what we're going to do now is we're going to soak it, and that's going to let the glue properly seep into the fibers of the paper, so that when you go to apply it, it actually sticks to it really nicely. So I'm just going to do this right here on my little mat. You could use another one of them plastic folders if you don't have a mat like this or anything. This is just a placemat. And so I'm gonna gently spray it. So it's all covered in water now. And like I said, you could just, instead of using a spray bottle, you could just take a bowl of water so that it's kind of floating around and leave it for a couple of minutes, and it's going to do the exact same thing. Right, so it's ready for me to apply it, I think. So I'm just going to try and kind of pour the excess into a cup. Wipe up the water. And then I'm going to move this, and I'm gonna put my picture onto the plastic folder until I'm ready to transfer it over onto my jewelry box. I'm just gonna gently dab off the excess water and put it aside. So now I'm gonna take my jewelry box and I'm gonna apply a layer of Mod Podge. You could use any decoupage glue, so if you use PVA glue, you can use that. You can use Mod Podge, you can use special decoupage glues, whatever you like to use for your decoupage. All I've done to this jewelry box is I've applied a layer of white chalk paint to prime it, and then I sanded it so that it's nice and smooth. So I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna apply a nice layer of glue so that it's not like too thick, but also it's not too thin as to where it's gonna dry out before I've applied anything onto it. So the reason why it needs to be quite thick is so that it doesn't dry, because Mod Podge I find tends to dry very quickly when I apply it directly onto wood. Right, so, and now I'm gonna take my picture and stick it on top. Right, I've put it on top. Now I'm gonna use my plastic folder again. I'm gonna take my squeegee again, and I'm gonna go over the whole thing and get any excess glue out, as well as any bubbles, and just make sure that it's all stuck down very, very nicely. So again, this might take some time for you to get used to. Just give it time. I'm sure you will get there. And when you do, you'll be very glad, because this is just a very, very good way of being able to broaden your horizon and being able to do a lot more with your decoupage. This is a picture that I downloaded off of Adobe stock photos. That's where I tend to get most of my decoupage pictures. So I have a membership with them. You're just gonna take it off. Have a look. I'm just gonna wipe the excess glue away. And I'm gonna put my file back on, and I'm gonna use my roller just to go over it once again to make sure that it's all stuck on properly. You want to pay special attention to your edges, make sure that they are stuck on properly. And I'm just using my cloth to clean away any excess glue that has come out from underneath. Right, so it's on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to apply another layer of glue over the top. And because our paper is wet, that's also going to help the glue seep through. And that, my friends, is how you can work with thicker papers in decoupage. I've used thicker papers in a lot of my projects, so I do this all the time, so believe me when I tell you that this is a game changer. So I'm going to leave it to fully dry now. So it's what, 2 o'clock now. I'm probably going to leave it till about 8, 9 till I have the time to work on it again. So a good few hours. And once it's fully dry, I'm gonna take some sandpaper and sand off the edges. I'm gonna decorate the rest of the box as I wish. Usually to decorate the edges, I will use a little sponge dabber like this, and some acrylic paint. And just to show you sort of what I do is I pick up my acrylic paint with a sponge dabber and I just kind of go over the edges like this, and that makes a nice faded effect. But I will also be filming how I decorate this whole thing, so including the application of this. You will see a video coming of the full project sometime soon if you're interested to see how I do it. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions about this or anything else that you may have seen on my channel, anything that I can help you with. I will be more than happy to answer any questions. If you would like to see more videos from me, make sure to subscribe to my channel, click the little bell notification thingy. If you would like to connect with me on other social media, be sure to check out the links in the description, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.